I hereby move that a bill for an act to regulate community service for offenders in certain cases to require a person convicted of a minor offense with the consent of the offender to perform community services in lieu of imprisonment and to provide for other related matters be read a second time. I so move.
Colleague. Who is the colleague that moved the motion?
Time ago, where a resident in Lagos was sentenced to 2 days imprisonment for refusing to pay a toll fine on the Lekki Expressway. I believe, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, that there are certain crimes that do not require a jail term. A community service is a form of punishment wherein an offender, usually in cases of minor offenses, or a first-timer, is given social responsibility in lieu of jail time. This is a form of social responsibility, and it ranges from an array of options. It is best guided by the locale in question. This bill, my dear colleagues, proposes community service as an alternative punishment for minor offenses. Community service is hinged on the principle of restorative justice, and that simply means a justice approach that is focused on the needs of the victims of the offenders as well as the involved community. This contrasts to more punitive approaches where the main aim is to punish the offender or satisfy abstract legal principles. Community service, my dear colleagues, has been successfully used in other crimes, especially in the United States, in Canada, and in Europe, even in Australia with very great rewards. It provides an option for criminal sentences with services as an alternative to incarceration. This bill seeks to promote the consciousness and concept of community service for minor offenses, which carry 6 months and below. Therefore, a convict will perform services living in the community rather than from the confines of a prison yard. This bill seeks to extract the resourcefulness of a convict, which will make the convict easily reintegrated into the society. The bill is divided into 12 parts, and as we all know, my dear colleagues, the emphasis now globally is on the word reform. Reforming the minor offender for certain societal gains is more advantageous than the labeling theory. My dear colleagues, our prisons are gradually becoming overcrowded. They can no longer contain the swarming convicts that are being churned out from our courts. You will recall, my dear colleagues, on the 3rd of November 2014, there was a jailbreak in Koton Karfe prison where about 144 prisoners were freed. We have other various instances across the country, prisons in Mina, and even the federal prison in Ado Ekiti was invaded where about 250 prisoners were freed. There is an example in the United Kingdom where they have Rehabilitation of Offenders Act of 1974. There are notable cases of people who have been successfully reintegrated into the society after community service. For example, one Khalid Missouri, a former robber, turned successful and a respected solicitor. We also have another example, Gary Bell, a former fraudster who became a successful barrister. A good example of the benefits of community offenders bill are that the professionals who commit some of these crimes can now be used to render services within their profession. My dear colleagues, in the United States, for example, Minor cases of offenses after a certain number of years are wiped away from the records or the criminal records of the perpetrators. They are completely deleted. This bill is pushing for the same, that the punishment should fit the crime. There is also a gain in the reduction of the cost of incarceration. Honorable colleagues, because crime hurts, I think that justice should heal. I count on your support to this bill. I so submit.